Hey, this is Mike from Media Mics, and I'm here with Mr. Bo Bice.
Just Bo Bice.
Just Bo Bice, I apologize.
Actually, just Bo. This is Mike and I know each other. We go way back.
And we're going to talk about his starring in Rock of Ages, currently playing at the Garden Theater in Winter Garden, Florida. Yeah. So let's start off. How did you get involved with Rock of Ages at the Garden Theater? How did that come about for you?
Well, you know what? We have a great team of people behind this entire musical theater productions. Victory Productions is who's putting that on. So they had a cast that was already set up, I think, of people that they had in mind for different parts. And so I happened to be one of the people that they thought of for a certain part for Dennis Dupree. And it really fell into place there with I guess I fit the character of Dennis, and really I say this over and over, the show is, the star is the music and we're just the vessels. Sure. And so really when I heard Rock of Ages, I knew about it from my friend Constantine, and so it was without a doubt I wanted to jump in, feet first.
And what kind of drew you to the role of Dennis Dupree, and how did you kind of prepare for that character?
Mike, that's funny you asked that question, because I wanted to say that was something that I sought out, but I think more than anything, the part kind of fit me. I walk around. Dennis is a laid back and walks around kind of smoking doobies and talks, owns the bar, and is the rock and roll kind of hippie that's left over from the hippie that's left over in the 80s. And so it was I say that I had to do a lot of development of the character.
I love it. That's great, man. And, why do you think that this 80s hair bands, they still resonate and they're so popular still today, the music?
Absolutely.
Why do you think that is? I mean...
Well, I think a lot of the bands that are around today, you have to realize those bands that are in this particular production, they're still out touring today. Night Ranger and Styx and REO Speedwagon. Sure. And the list goes on and on. So I think that really what's cool about that is that genre has stuck around so much. A lot of those bands, they were around in the 70s, that music made it, but then the 80s turned into a little bit different of a model of what music was, and that I think is something that stuck out. Those giant arena tours and arena hits that we all love so much. That's what makes it so magical with Rock of Ages.
I agree, man. That's fantastic. And I think it's like generational too. Like I was mentioning that my daughter listens to this kind of music. She's 11, right, and she loves some Foreigner. She loves, REO Speedwagon. She loves all these tracks. We built this city, Starship. I took her to see Starship when she was 5 years old, right, at Epcot, and she was rocking out like crazy. You know what I mean? So this music resonates to generational. It's not just people that were around in the 80s.
Right.
I think it continues throughout.
Well, we took our son to see Bret Michaels, and
that's great.
Loved that, and again knows so many of the words. And people come up and ask our kids, some of their favorite music, and they'll come back with like, "Oh, Supertramp," and different things like that. And they're like, "You're not old enough to even know who Supertramp is," So yes, it is very generational, these songs that are in this particular production.
That's great. I love it. And how is it working with Justin Matthew Sargent? Because he's not only just plays Stacey Jacks, he's also the director of the show.
Correct. He is absolutely, Justin is phenomenal at directing and playing the part of Stacey. It's funny to get to work with someone that has played he played Drew on the Broadway production,
Right.
and did a outstanding job doing that. And then wanted to step, I believe, into this role as Stacey Jacks. I don't want to speak for him, but he really was perfect for it, to get to pull this character off. That the character is kind of like a bumbly rock and roll washout, and Justin does a great job of making him funny, and
Yeah.
you almost feel sorry for the guy at the end of the day. And as far as the director, he did a great job with this cast, and continues to be our fearless leader. So we enjoy it very much.
That's awesome, man. I love it. And you also had some classic scenes with Lonnie, who's played by Matt DeAngelis, or in the show that I saw was Matt DeAngelis.
Right.
You know, and you guys seem like you really had a blast, especially with "Can't Fight This Feeling." You know, I mean, how was that relationship between you guys? That must have been.
Matt and I get along great. You know, it's what's so fun about theater is there's so many people out there that you're around that you can feed off of. This was not something that I had been really involved in since high school, so I'm able to feed off of these other characters, these other people who are very, very well versed in their craft, and so that's another one that I have to give kudos to, is Matt, for what he does, and the help that he's provided over this time of getting to do this production, because it has been a blast. And I also have to give it out to our friend Tony, who was doing Lonnie before, because he was phenomenal. And that's what's so fun about this, is you get to really explore the characters, but you also get to meet so many other different great people.
That's amazing, man. And, you know, so Rock of Ages has been playing at the Garden Theater now since January 25th, and it was just recently extended now through March 12th,
Right.
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
What would you say has been, like, your highlight on this run? I know it's not over yet, so let's not... But what do you say so far has been, like, your highlight?
I think my highlight so far over this run has been just seeing the audiences on a Wednesday through Sunday when we play. They really are. I'm not just saying this. We have full houses, and that's why we got extended. So I encourage you to come out and check it out. But the whole generation gap between those audiences, and how everybody gets up on their feet.
Yeah.
And so the best experience for me so far has been just seeing the generations of people out there singing these songs, being a part of it. And by the end of the night, it's hard not to be on your feet up clapping. And
Sure.
we encourage you to be part of the show. And so that's my highlight, is getting to see people get into the show.
That's great, man. And switching gears a little bit, I'm a big fan of Southern rock, right?
Yeah.
You know, I know that's, kind of your sweet spot there. What do you think kind of draws you to this genre?
Right. What always drew me to Southern rock, I guess, is a lot of the songs. When you think of bands like Lynyrd Skynyrd and 38 Special, Molly Hatchet, Marshall Tucker. I can't leave out Charlie Daniels,
Oh, yeah.
even though people kind of put him more in a country genre. I always put Charlie in there, because he and the band have always been a band that was able to cross over and do a little bit of everything.
Sure.
So I think that's why it's such an open genre, that it kind of it encompasses a lot of different soul, blues, a little bit of funk at times, especially when you listen to Charlie, and then it mixes it all up in a blender, and that's what comes out. So it's that's what draws me to Southern rock.
And you mentioned Lynyrd Skynyrd. From performing them on American Idol, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Lynyrd Skynyrd fan. To touring with them even a little bit last year. How surreal was that experience for you? Because I don't know how I would be able to handle that. I would lose my mind.
Well, you know, it was funny because it all came by accident when we performed on American Idol together. There was a person that when they did the Bo goes home for 24 hours kind of thing, which was really 24 hours. It was just jump on a plane, go home, and kind of see your town and come back home to LA. Someone said, "Man, look at that. That's Lynyrd Skynyrd's tour bus." And one of the producers said, "Is that really?" And they made the connection there. And without that one guy saying, "Hey, there's the tour bus," you know, I don't think we would have had that opportunity to stand on stage together, and that was without a doubt it didn't matter what happened after that for me. I had already won the lottery. You know what I mean?
Trust me, man. I know that's a big one. So, and my wife was a big fan of this question. If I took your iPhone, you know, your phone right now, I guess tell me some of the bands that you got on your playlist.
Well, I can tell you right out of the bat, I do have some Supertramp, Charlie Daniels band, Tom Petty.
Oh, nice.
A lot of people, speaking of the 80s, Badlands, Cinderella.
Nice, yeah.
I love Cinderella, one of my favorite bands. Tesla.
Oh, yeah, Tesla's coming around soon, too.
I would love to go see them. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite all-time bands.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Rolling Stones, you know, that kind of stuff. But I think one of the things that people might kind of go, wow, why does he have this on his phone? I have a lot of sleep music and meditation music that helps me kind of chill and calm down at times. But I guess we all need that in life.
I'm a big proprietor of that. I love me some ambient music.
Yeah, some of that
sure.
just chill music. Now, I'll be cruising around and it'll go through my playlist, and I'll go straight from Running Down a Dream to like a chill music, and I must say I have to go shuffle, non. You know, I'm back down to the petty mode, you know.
I love it, man. That's
but
great.
One of my favorite ones that I have on there that I have to say is probably the Traveling Wilburys.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's great, man.
One of
yeah,
my favorite albums.
It's fantastic. And so after Rock of Ages, is there anything else you got in the cards that you want to give us a heads up about?
You know, I'm working on different things after Rock of Ages. I had a side project I've been working on, and then after that, also putting together a band just to hit the road with some new music that we can show people in 2024.
Nice.
And you know, that has a lot to do with what, as musicians, we enjoy the studio, we enjoy putting together the music, but the real payoff for us is when we get to go out and perform and play it. So
that's fantastic, man. All right, that's all the questions I got. I appreciate the time.
No problems with the time. Okay, so now this is my chance.
Do it.
Who's your favorite 3 artists that are in your iPad?
All right, well, it's got to be Skynyrd,
Right.
Pink Floyd, and Rush.
Awesome.
Easy to go through. If you saw mine right now, that's probably what you'll find on there. And then maybe some, like I mentioned, some ambient tunes. There's this guy named John Hopkins that really gives some fantastic, like chill music.
Right.
Really fantastic music. So that's probably some of the artists you'll hear on mine.
Now,
for sure.
Another question is, who? Because I heard you say my wife loves this question.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been with your wife?
Going on 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sweetheart, back home. What is her favorite style of music? What is her favorite
She
genre?
likes boy bands.
Really?
So
like
NSYNC, Backstreet
New
Boys.
Kids on the Block.
You
which
know
are
it.
coming back.
You know it.
around. They've
Yeah.
got a new tour.
Oh yeah,
coming
they're
back.
still on fire, man. Still on
And
fire.
I'll say something about them because when I lived overseas and I was going to London Central High School, they actually came by when they were on tour and came to our high school, a couple of them, just to say hello.
Really?
What great guys they were back then, so I can imagine they're only just as cool now. So I'm not in the band and not getting a kickback, but I thought that that was really just one of the coolest things. And as you go throughout the years, you find moments and little nuggets like that through your life that you go back through. So tell her to go check out that tour, and I'm going to go check out some Tesla.
I'm thinking about it too, man.
So
Well,
Mike's reminding me that I have to get my Tesla fit.
well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a
Appreciate
real pleasure.